So the COVID aid bill has now passed, and it passed notably without any Republican support. But you wouldn't necessarily know that to talk to the Republicans about it, because we noticed yesterday this tweet from Senator Roger Wicker, who said independent restaurant operators have won nearly $29 billion worth of targeted relief. This funding will ensure small businesses can survive the pandemic by helping to adapt their operations and keep their employees on the payroll. And I'm sure, Bridget, that if he had more than 280 characters, he would have then noted that he didn't vote for the bill. If he had had his way, would have blocked every one of those $29 billion. But if you just read this, and you're maybe a small business owner in his state, it looks like he actually supports you.
Yeah, I mean, this is a classic example of them wanting to have it both ways, right? He didn't vote for it and yet wants credit for the kind of help it's going to give his constituents. And I think it's worth noting that no Republicans voted for this. The aid that's meant to help hardworking American families, many of whom are struggling, who need relief, none of them voted for it. And so it's very interesting to me how they're trying to take credit for something that they did not even vote for.
Exactly. Well, like subtly take credit for it. They're also like, credit is definitely what the next couple of months are gonna be about in politics, is who deserves credit, who doesn't. In some ways, like with Senator Roger Wicker, they might imply that they do deserve credit for that. But then they're also simultaneously gonna be trying to claim that the Democrats don't, which we'll turn to in just a moment. But really fast, Roger Wicker's tweet was so obviously fake and phony. He got such a big pushback online. He was asked about it by reporters, and he later said, well, I'm not gonna vote for 1.9 trillion just because it has a couple of good provisions.
I mean, does he care about the people in his community getting help or not, right? It's like, you really cannot have it both ways, I feel.
Yeah, and look, he might have, like, if we're giving him more like an assumption of operating in good faith that he almost certainly isn't, maybe he has some other bill that he imagines would have been better. And in theory, if we had a functioning democracy with two serious political parties, they might have met in the middle in some way on those bills. But Roger Wicker, apparently, if he's operating in good faith there, is running up against the Republican strategy, the natural outcome of the Republican strategy, where they're never gonna vote for anything the Democrats do, no matter how pro anything it is. And if you go into this legislative session making clear that the opposition knows that you're not gonna operate in good faith with them, well, then they're not gonna give you much. I mean, I would argue the Democrats kind of did anyway, but they have no real incentive to, because Roger Wicker was never gonna vote for that. If it was 1 trillion or 500 billion or 100 billion, he cares more about denying Biden a legislative win than he does about small business relief or any other component of this.
Oh, absolutely. And let's not forget, Democrats voted for the CARES Act, right? Like, this is not something that goes both ways. I think it's so clear that this is really about making sure that Biden doesn't get what they see as some sort of legislative win. And the people who I feel really get lost in that is just regular people. They don't care if this is a Biden win or a Republican win, a Democratic win. People need help. People are struggling. I think that, I feel that we often are like, oh, both sides do this. It's very clear which side is not interested in getting anything done. I think that's overwhelmingly clear.
Exactly. Yeah. All last year, the Republicans were implying that every part of the pandemic was designed to hurt the Republicans. And the Democrats cared more about that than they did about anything else. And yet, as you point out, they did support the CARES Act. It's sort of weird and inconsistent, but I have a feeling that the Republicans will be able to make those ends meet in their head. And by the way, in terms of the hypocrisy between these two bills and how it doesn't go both ways, one thing that does go both ways is that both this legislation and the CARES Act included the possibility that the incarcerated might get stimulus checks. Interestingly, Republicans like Tom Cotton, who voted for the earlier CARES Act that did that, is now criticizing this one for saying, look at these damn Democrats trying to give money to prisoners. But you supported it when it was Trump. It's like the cake is hypocrisy, the filling is hypocrisy, the frosting is hypocrisy, the whole thing just sucks.
It's hypocrisy all the way down. It's just the whole thing.
Yeah, and it's really frustrating.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.